Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fixie Points, and that is a sentence that I never thought I would be saying again. Fixie Points is the show where you guys send in photos of your bikes, tell me stories about your bikes, and I roast them and arbitrarily award them Fixie Points. And I haven't done Fixie Points in about 5 years now, just because at the time it got kind of old hat. I got kind of sick of making it. I didn't have fun roasting bikes, but now I'm older and saltier, and I'm ready to be hurt again. And just to be clear, Fixie Points is just for fun. If you are riding a Fix Your bike, if you're riding any bike, 2 thumbs up from me. That is awesome. You keep doing that. I do not care about what bike you ride as long as you are riding. But us Fix Gear riders, we spend so much time agonizing over every single little excruciating detail on our bikes so that all the feng shui flows and matches so that we can get the most Fixie Points at the group ride in our heads. And that's what Fixie Points is for. Powder-coated Tribe Messenger. And I find it really funny that everything called a messenger is mostly just used by hipsters. Like, you're not delivering anything on this bike. The only thing that you're delivering is bread to the ducks in this lake. Is Tribe Bikes even still around? This is not the same Tribe Bikes. Unless? Well, I have to say that I am very proud that your interest in fixed gear has outlasted the company Tribe itself. And I have to say that your build is really clean, just from an aesthetic point of view, which is the most important thing about riding fixed gear, right? Like, you've got the silver triangulation from the stem, the C-post, and the cranks. And of course you got SRAM Omniums, probably the best worst cranks ever to grace us fixed gear riders because they just have so many problems, from the bottom brackets to clearance issues to just being way more crankset than anybody could humanly need. But they do look sick, and that's why they're still so popular even 5 years after they've been discontinued. Probably more than that, actually. I'm really digging the custom powder coat job. It really pops off in the sunlight. The carbon rims laced to Philwood hubs, super Fixie Point. And the chain ring, matching the grips with that digital black and gray camo. Very nice accent so that your bike isn't just like everybody else's. But if you look at this bike from a functional perspective, like, even for fixies, this is a dumb bike. Like, are you trying to be fast or are you not? Like, you have carbon rims, but then they're, what is that, 32 spoke? And also laced to Philwood hubs, which are pretty dang heavy. Like, Philwood hubs are known for being bomb-proof, but they're not known for, being the raciest components out there with how heavy they are. And then another thing I really don't understand, this trend of a lot of fixed gear riders riding these NV carbon wide, like, downhill trail bars. They're carbon fiber and you're saving weight, but then they're so wide that you're catching all the air and you're not aerodynamic at all. And I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because you just have lots of money to spend, and it looks like your money has outgrown your taste. Plus 85 Fixie Points. That's a spicy meatball, alright? When you have a Campagnolo track bike, you gotta give me some more detailed photos of, like, the dropouts and the lugs. I really am digging the Barbie pink, even if it is very last year. I respect that you slammed your quill stem. That is something that goes underappreciated. You have the matching wheels to keep it Italian with the Miche pistons, the Campagnolo crankset, and even the Campy chainring. Us hipstery fixed gear riders like to romanticize vintage parts, but the chainring is probably the last part that you should go vintage on because it's a consumable part. That's like buying used underwear. This chainring is probably from the 70s, and your drivetrain probably rides like you have half a dozen biscotti crunched up and grinding everything away. And you spent so much money on this campy frame set that you didn't even have enough to buy 2 rolls of bar tape. As a content creator, I really respect this. You are hard on that grind, putting that cult sticker on your down tube, giving them free exposure in hopes that they'll sponsor you so that you don't have to buy bar tape. They'll just give you some grips for free. And look, the story arc is even complete. They did give you the grips. Judging from this admittedly super aesthetic scenery, that you don't ride this bike that often, even judging from how new and fresh and not even broken in yet that your straps are. This bike doesn't get ridden. All this bike does, it gets driven out to nice picturesque places so that you could post it on Reddit and get Fixie Points from strangers online. It's like you're taking this bike out on dates, but you're not ever actually riding it. I'ma say it. You're kind of a bike cuck. Plus 75 Fixie Points. Suzuki didn't make that, I'll tell you that much. This is so sad. All this guy wants to do is ride a motorcycle, but he's stuck with a Fixie. Is this a KHS Aero track? Like, that's C2. It's very close. Like, the Aero track is a proper track bike, so it has a parallel flat top tube, but I don't know what the heck this is. And also these angles are super slack. This is the AliExpress version of the KHS Aero track. And these are definitely AliExpress wheels. Look, these are, it's right here. I found the wheel. Look, this is the hub on the wheel. AliExpress, the geniuses over there, could not figure out how to make a threaded hub for this wheel. So they just straight up bolted on a cog like you're playing bike polo, like it's 2010. As weird as this bike looks, I am seeing the idea behind it. Like, you're trying to be aero. Okay, like, it doesn't matter that these wheels are completely made of metal and probably weigh 15 pounds together. These are like the heaviest wheels that money can buy. Not a lot of money, mind you. There is that. You slammed your stem and you have track drops, and it's like you're going so fast with this setup that you actually need the front brake to stop because leg power alone is not going to do it. And then you have to tilt your saddle down because your fit is so wonky so you don't crush your boys. And oddly enough, the Thompson seat post, as weird as this looks, it really brings out the lines of the seat tube. And this is going to sound strange, but this Thompson seat post is the nicest thing on this bike. Even though there is a Zen chainring, which, you know, might be from AliExpress and might not be the legit version, and Dura Ace cranks. But if you truly want to be aero, you should definitely get rid of this tag. You're probably losing like 5 watts over 50 kilometers with that thing. Something really funny about this frame set, although there's like a noodly seat tube so that you can tuck the rear wheel and get more aero gains, you're already maxed out at the track ends, but then your wheel can only get within spitting distance of the seat tube. Like, you're not making any aero gains here at all. It's like, you may do with what you have. I see the vision. This bike gets plus 69 Fixie Points. Just like how the world's first NJS bracelet will give you plus 69 Fixie Points. Available now at Gallardo.com/merch. There are so many options for bikes, but you're still like, no, I want to make a new conversion. Part of me wants to say that this is the fixed gear of somebody who just wanted to try out a fixed gear, somebody who probably commuted or did some bike touring. But then I see, like, the Paul hubs on this thing, and I'm like, are you trying to save money or are you not? Because these are some baller hubs. These are by far the nicest hubs that I've ever seen on a conversion. Most people will just go to their local bike co-op and buy whatever wheel fits on their bike for $5. But you're like, no, I'm going to build a $900 wheel set for my conversion. I'm not trying to save money. I built this and I'm making a statement because I wanted to build a bike that confuses people. Why? Why wouldn't you just get a big tire fixed gear? Like, they exist now. A big part of riding fixed gear is that you can make it clean and aesthetic, but Surly's, like, monkey poop brown is as far as away as you can get from being clean and aesthetic. But then you also went with the aesthetic wheels with the Paul hubs. The Surly Crosscheck, don't get me wrong, super sick, super versatile bike. But I don't think this is the bike that a Surly Crosscheck wants to be. But I do have to give you props. The negative 17-degree stem. It is an Origin 8. Kind of heavy on the branding for being a budget brand, but sure. It's parallel. It might be more than parallel with the top tube because the head tube is so slack. Your saddle has a blister. You might want to get that checked out. This bike confuses me, but it looks like fun. Oh, well, I missed it. You gave yourself minus 1,000 Fixie Points right there. Wabi Classic. Whoa. This is a classic? Did you do the 650B conversion? Oh, you must have done the 650B conversion. That is sick. Because normally they fit 32s. And this is, what the heck is that? Primus 33 5G? 5G? They have 5G in your tires? You didn't do the 650B conversion. This is 700C. You just really jammed those knobbies in there. Dang. Wabis are freaking sick, and they're this video's sponsor, so stay around to the end of the video to learn more about them. But you got knobby 33s on there, and it's like, it looks cool, and it looks like it would be fun, but I rode 35s on my Wabi Special, and they technically cleared, except if I went off-road or like through a pile of leaves and everything would get gunked up. Another reason the Wabi Classic is so sick, look at that. SRAM Omniums. Fits, no problem. It's not SRAM's fault, it's every other frame set's fault for not being able to fit them. Get it together. I'm really digging this like off-white cream color. I don't remember if that was a stock color, but whatever it is, it's really sick. Are you missing a chainring bolt? Or is that just a black chainring bolt? Either way, that's gonna dock off some Fixie Points. And another thing that's not matching is your saddle and your grips / bar tape. Like, the curtain's gotta match the drapes. Thompson stem, Thompson C-post, kind of blasé at this point. I don't understand why people keep riding these carbon rims on these bikes that look like they're not going very fast. Okay, this looks like an off-road bike. The whole point of carbon fiber is that it's lighter and it theoretically makes you faster. But then people riding these carbon components are riding these wide riser bars. Like, if you really want to go fast, why don't you just ride drops? It's almost like people just buy carbon components to show how much money they can spend. Congrats! You have a credit card! Plus 82 Fixie Points. This is my Affinity Lopez that I use to commute to work. Is this like what they call it in Central America and South America? The Lopez? It's impressive that we live in the year 2024, where most people's phone cameras, even just like budget phone cameras, take incredibly crisp and clear photos, yet you've still managed to somehow find a way to make it a grainy, blurry mess like it's straight from 2008. And this bike does look like it is straight out of 2008, with the track drops that are only wrapped in the bottom. Oh wait, they're not even track drops! They are road drops that you have wrapped like track drops and couldn't have even bothered to clean off the dirty schmutz. An old school Velocity Deep V that has been heavily braked on. It was not originally machined for brakes, but whoever had this before, they're like, nah, I definitely need a rear brake on my fixed gear. And then also an H+, is this even an H+ Sun, what did they call it, formation face? Remember those wheels? Holy crap. Oh, nostalgia bomb. It's like we're back in 2010. Or this might even just be a knockoff, judging from how generic this hub looks. I did not know that you can make a hub look more generic than formulas. Your ass saver is really short. It looks more like a cheek saver. You have one of those old school like toilet flushers that you see in cartoons hanging off of your saddle, and then you have just some shoestring tied around your stem, which is also very dirty. You know what? It's a vibe, I guess. You could have garbage be a vibe between your handlebars and your stem, but why do you just have shoestring tied to your stem? Like it has a broken jaw and you're just trying to keep it closed. You get respect for actually having drops on your low pro. I am seeing the vision from how dirty it is, from how blurry it is, to your background with like cigarettes, butts, and this carcass of a dead rat. You get plus 29 Fixie Points, bro. All right, I'm wrapping up this episode of Fixie Points because I have a concert to go to in 30 minutes. I'm seeing Blink-182. Where are you? If you want to have your bike roasted on an episode of Fixie Points and be arbitrarily awarded Fixie Points, be sure to send me an email titled Fixie Points to my email address. I am at Gallardo.com. Check out the changing bracelet at Gallardo.com/merch to give yourself some Fixie Points, and check out this video's sponsor, Wabi Cycles. Whether it's ideas or bikes, time will separate the good from the best. And today's video's sponsor, Wabi Cycles, has been making the same fixed gears since 2009. I have two bikes, a Wabi Special and now a Wabi Thunder. I only care to own Wabis because they're just the most fun bikes I've ever ridden. Constructed out of lightweight Reynolds 725 tubing from the UK, or Columbus Spirit tubing from Italy. That's like that top tier Columbus tubing. Wabi's fixed gear and single speed bikes are responsive, lively, and solidly built. Wabi allows you to customize the fine details of your bike, from handlebar choice to gearing to stem length, so you can have a bike that is super dialed in right out of the box. If you have any questions about Wabis, don't ask me. Fun fact, I don't work for Wabi. Wabi is actually a real brick and mortar bike shop located in Denver, Colorado. You could email them, you could call them, you could drop them a message on Instagram, and they'll be happy to help you with whatever questions that you have and get you on a bike that you love. If you're interested, be sure to check out Wabi Cycles, linked in the description. And Fixie famous shoutouts to David K, Salvador Lombroso, Julian Corona, Brandon Black, Brent David, Mario Perez, Ted Onchi, and Bracelet for helping to make these Fix Your videos possible through their support on Patreon. And remember that life is short, but don't make it shorter, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.